Kevin Chown's story is a reminder that some of the most influential musicians are rarely the ones standing in the spotlight. They are the artists who make everyone else sound better, whose fingerprints are all over albums and world tours, yet whose names many casual listeners never learn. That is why this story matters. Today, this video looks at the life, career, health struggles, family, love life, and reported cause of death of acclaimed bassist Kevin Chown. If stories that celebrate overlooked musical legends matter, take a second to like this video so content like this keeps showing up every time a new upload goes live. The death of Kevin Chown has left the rock and progressive metal community mourning the loss of one of its most respected bass players. Reports indicate that Chown passed away on July 6, 2026, at the age of 56, at his home in Escanaba, Michigan. Early reports and tributes from fellow musicians stated that he had been battling cancer before his death, although his family initially released only limited public information while funeral arrangements were being finalized. That detail says something important about the difference between celebrity culture and genuine respect. When global superstars die, speculation often overwhelms facts within minutes. In Kevin Chown's case, fellow musicians focused almost entirely on his talent, kindness, and friendship instead of chasing headlines. That reaction speaks volumes about the reputation he built over 4 decades in music. His passing also closes a remarkable career that many casual listeners never fully realized they had been hearing. Kevin Chown became one of those musicians trusted by artists across different genres because he could adapt to almost any musical environment. Progressive metal, hard rock, jazz fusion, blues, funk, and symphonic rock all benefited from his playing. That versatility is far harder than becoming known for just one style. Great session musicians succeed because they know when not to dominate a song, and Chown mastered that balance throughout his career. His health journey was unfortunately much longer than many people realized. Years before reports of cancer surfaced, Kevin had openly discussed another serious medical battle. As a teenager, he developed epilepsy, a condition that remained with him for decades. After suffering increasingly severe seizures, he underwent brain surgery in 2013 at USC Medical Center. Instead of hiding his struggles, he chose to speak publicly about them while friends and fans helped raise money to cover medical expenses. He even released the EP Light the Way, turning one of the darkest periods of his life into an artistic statement about hope and perseverance. That decision revealed something bigger than musical ability. Many performers spend years protecting an image of strength because they fear illness will make promoters, fans, or collaborators question their future. Kevin Chown took the opposite approach. By acknowledging epilepsy and continuing to perform afterward, he quietly challenged the idea that chronic illness has to define someone's career. Sadly, later reports indicate that cancer became another devastating chapter in his life. According to those close to him and multiple published obituaries, he fought the disease privately before dying in July 2026. Fellow musicians later shared how heartbreaking it was to watch someone who had already overcome so much face another major health battle. Professionally, Kevin Chown built the kind of resume most musicians dream about. Born on December 24, 1969, in Escanaba, Michigan, he grew up in an intensely musical household. His father worked as a high school band teacher, while his mother taught piano lessons. Music was not simply entertainment inside the Chown family, it was part of daily life. He first experimented with drums before discovering the bass guitar after hearing the influence of Led Zeppelin's John Paul Jones. That moment changed everything. By age 15, he was already performing professionally with local bands. That early experience shaped his reputation as a disciplined musician. Instead of relying only on natural talent, he learned the demands of live performance while still a teenager. Those years became the foundation for a career that eventually reached international audiences. Kevin later became widely recognized through his work with Finnish symphonic metal singer Tarja Turunen. Following Tarja's departure from Nightwish, she assembled an impressive touring band, and Kevin became one of its defining members for several years. Fans admired not only his technical precision but also his stage presence. He never looked like someone simply collecting a paycheck. Every performance reflected genuine enjoyment of the music, something audiences immediately recognized. His collaborations stretched far beyond one artist. Kevin performed or recorded alongside Chad Smith's bombastic Meatbats, Steelheart, Cosmo Squad, Artention, Edwin Dare, Sebastian Bach, Paul Gilbert, Uncle Kracker, Ted Nugent, Chuck Berry, Tony MacAlpine, Jeff Coleman, and many others. Few bassists successfully move between progressive metal, blues, jazz fusion, and mainstream rock without losing credibility in each community. Kevin managed exactly that because musicians trusted both his technical skill and his professionalism. That versatility highlights an often overlooked truth about the music industry. Fans usually celebrate singers and guitar heroes because they stand at the front of the stage. Yet producers and bandleaders often value musicians like Kevin even more because they solve problems, strengthen arrangements, and make everyone else sound better. Those contributions rarely dominate headlines, but they frequently determine whether a concert succeeds or fails. Outside of performing, Kevin expanded into songwriting, production, radio appearances, and occasional television work. His solo releases demonstrated influences ranging from jazz to progressive rock while allowing listeners to appreciate his creativity beyond supporting other artists. Instead of limiting himself to one musical identity, he continued exploring new ideas throughout his career. His personal life remained remarkably private. Unlike many entertainers, Kevin rarely turned relationships into public discussion. There has never been confirmed public information indicating that he was married or involved in a widely known romantic relationship. Rather than creating headlines through celebrity relationships, he appeared to keep his focus on music, close friendships, and family. That privacy may disappoint those searching for dramatic stories, but it also reflects someone who separated professional success from personal attention. The same privacy extends to information about his immediate family. Public records confirm that he grew up in a musical household with supportive parents, but relatively little has been publicly disclosed regarding siblings or extended family members. His family consistently remained outside the spotlight, and that choice deserves respect. Sometimes the most revealing fact about a public figure is what they deliberately choose not to share. Following news of his death, tributes poured in from musicians who emphasized qualities that statistics never capture. They described Kevin as generous, funny, encouraging, humble, and endlessly supportive of younger artists. Those descriptions appeared repeatedly because they reflected lived experience rather than carefully crafted publicity statements. That pattern matters. Plenty of gifted musicians leave behind impressive discographies. Far fewer leave behind a reputation that colleagues consistently describe with words like kindness and generosity. In an industry often associated with ego and competition, Kevin Chown earned admiration through collaboration instead of controversy. His story also reminds audiences how misleading fame can be. Millions of listeners may never have recognized his face, yet countless concerts, recordings, and tours benefited from his talent. The music industry depends on artists like Kevin far more than many fans realize. They become the invisible architecture supporting performances that audiences remember for decades. Perhaps the most remarkable part of Kevin Chown's legacy is not simply the number of famous musicians he worked beside. It is the resilience he demonstrated through repeated health battles while continuing to create music. Epilepsy could have ended his touring career. Brain surgery could have forced retirement. Cancer eventually claimed his life, but not before decades of performances that inspired fellow musicians around the world. His career proves that lasting influence is measured less by magazine covers than by professional respect. Every tribute following his death points toward the same conclusion. Kevin Chown earned admiration because he consistently delivered excellence without demanding constant recognition. The music world lost an extraordinary bassist, but the larger lesson reaches far beyond one industry. Every field has people whose names remain unfamiliar even though their work shapes the success of everyone around them. Kevin Chown represents those quiet professionals whose impact becomes fully appreciated only after they are gone. That is a reminder to recognize excellence before tribute posts become the only way to say thank you. If this story introduced a musician whose legacy deserves wider recognition, share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more analytical stories behind the headlines, and turn on notifications so future videos continue uncovering the remarkable lives behind the famous names.